Ooh, today we're going to be making Ojo de Dioses. And the cool thing about these is that you can use 2 coffee stirs that we have these wooden sticks, or you can use 3 to make 6 different ones, but today we're going to start by using just 2. Now you can get your 2 coffee stirs and pick out the colors you want to use. I'm going to use these ones. I like to have contrast. This one's not has a lot of contrast, but enough. If I want to, I'm going to, this is 18 centimeters. I could do it in inches too, but 18 is fine. So 18, so I'm going to mark the 9. And hopefully this stick is 18 too. It's a little shy, but that's okay. So I'm just going to mark the center. And then I'm just going to glue them in place, just with a little bit of glue, just a dab. Just so they stick together a little better. Make sure they don't move. And I could use my neatness mat to help me make sure they're square too. So let that dry for a little bit. I'm going to start with, I think I'll start with pink. This might take a little bit to dry and I'll be right back. Alright, now that I feel like it's dried fairly enough, I'm going to put my yarn around it. I could cut this yarn to make it a little easier to handle. I'm going to tie just a simple knot, and then I'm going to tie it one more time. Oh boy. Sometimes when things are so light, it's hard to handle. Alright. And now that I have this excess string too, I'm going to cut it off if I can find my scissors. I cannot find. Oh, I just had them. Okay. Well, I can just go ahead and do that later, but I'm going to flip it over. And I'm going to get my yarn, and I'm going to put one, and I'm just going to go across. And did you see how I just went across? I wrapped it under, over. I'm over. I'm under it. I'm over it, under it. I'm going over and then under. And you can already see a little bit of a pattern starting to show. I'm also holding it kind of tight too, not super tight, but just enough. Every time I overlap it, I'm making sure that I'm going next to the next one. Like, I don't want to be wrapping it over the previous one. I'm kind of walking down my stick. Now you can see it a little better. It makes a more even pattern if you do that. And see, it got loose there, and that's okay. So I just pull it again. See how I'm not going right here in the middle. I'm going on the very side right there. Switching my hand. Did you see how I was having to hold it with one? I'm holding, switching, holding, and I almost could do that, but it's like super hard to do it without with this yarn not cut. Alright, and hopefully I started in the center, and if I did it, that's okay too. A hot glue gun would probably work a lot better to glue the sticks together. They would really stay. So can you see my pattern already starting? And you see also how that I'm going right next to it. Remember, don't go over the previous one. Really try to go on the edge of it. And really bringing it all the way to the edge. And that's very hard, but it makes a really pretty pattern. I can see mine moving a little bit, but that's okay. Now if I say I'm ready for my next color, I am going to cut this, and I can let it loose for a little bit, and it's okay. I can leave it there. I gotta go get my scissors. Okay, I'm back with my scissors. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut my yarn, and I'm gonna add the black one. And I can either do this like loop where I loop it around and tie a knot. Sometimes that really slips on me. I can try it, but I have to be really, really, really tight with that. Like really squeeze it and make sure it doesn't want to come apart, because we're going to pull at that. I'm going to cut this excess string, not too much right now, maybe later I can do it. Oh, and remember that in the beginning I didn't have my scissors, so I can cut that now too. Alright, let's see how this goes. So I'm going to remember to wrap right next to it. When I come up to where I made my knot, I'm going to try not to pull too hard. And you see how my knot is sticking kind up on that one, and that is totally okay. But guess what I'm going to do with this one? I'm going to go over it. And did you see my trick? I pushed it down. I was like, you know what? I don't want you showing. And I'm going to just keep going around. And I could right now at this point switch colors as well. And I'm making sure that, again, I'm not going like this and wrapping, right? Going all the way at the edge. I'm holding this thumb. It's really tricky, but you guys will find out that you'll have a way to do this. Like I'm holding it with this hand. Now I'm going to grab the next, almost like a boat steering wheel, like I'm turning the boat. In circles, many circles, getting dizzy, just kidding. But I'm going to go ahead and do some more work, and then I'll tie off the next bit for you. Now I feel like I'm at the end of my creating my God's eye. And the cool thing about God's eyes is like they were believed to be an eye, el Ojo de Dios, and it is a tradition of having it so eyes watching you and protecting you. So if you have someone that you want to give this to that want to be protected, it's a very sweet gesture. So I just am going to wrap this around the string, right around the popsicle stick, or these are actually coffee stirrers. And tie a knot. Now this is going to be very tricky, so we could it might need your teacher's help on this. You could also wrap it around the coffee stir stick and hot glue it in place. So I just tied it to the string that it came from. Now if I want to hang it from here, I'm going to again do a little, see, and I cut my string kind of long. I gave myself a little room, so I want to make sure that's tight on there. I might want to do one more. We say por las moscas, for the flies, right? You guys heard that saying? It's a strange one, but just in case the flies come around and try to ruin something. Then now I'm going to grab another string from the other side. I'm going to make sure I leave some right here at the top. Now these can be ornaments that are placed on your wall, on your trees, maybe if you guys celebrate Christmas, all kinds of fun things. So I did that 2 times. So hopefully it'll stay right there. And then now I can hang it. I have a little hook. And then I just want to clean up my strings a little bit. Go around the back side. The back doesn't matter so much. There we go. And I could put my initials on there too, so I know that one's mine. All right, and we're done with our God's eye. Hope you guys had fun.